Sweden doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers calm into every corner. With just over 10 million people living in a land larger than Italy, Sweden is one of the least densely populated countries in Europe. That means space, real, breathing space. Not just between homes, but in daily life, in mindset, in spirit. Outside the cities lie thick pine forests, mirror-like lakes, and over 220,000 islands, each more serene than the last. Even in Stockholm, the capital, chaos feels miles away. Streets are clean, people move at a gentle pace, and noise is kept at bay. The rhythm of life here is slower, more intentional. People breathe deeply, and it shows. That serenity seeps into the Swedish character. You feel it in their composed demeanor, their quiet confidence, their love for nature and silence. It's no surprise, then, that such a peaceful setting is also home to some of the world's most admired beauty, not just of land, but of people. And it all begins with a phenomenon the world has long noticed: the Swedish blonde phenomenon. There's a certain image that comes to mind when people think of Sweden: tall, graceful, with flowing blonde hair and piercing blue or green eyes. It's not a stereotype, it's a genetic legacy shaped by thousands of years of Nordic ancestry. But what truly sets Swedish women apart isn't just the color of their hair. It's the harmony of health, posture, and presence. Fitness here isn't a luxury, it's part of life. Swedish women are known not just for beauty, but for strength, hiking in the mountains, biking through cities, swimming in icy waters. They carry themselves with upright posture, subtle confidence, and an ease that's as magnetic as it is graceful. Add to that an understated approach to self-care, natural skincare, healthy diets, and clean living, and you start to understand why so many find Swedish beauty almost effortless. But physical beauty is only half the picture. What truly elevates it is the intellect and depth behind the eyes. A culture that values education and refinement. In Sweden, education isn't just encouraged, it's expected. From a young age, both girls and boys are taught to explore, to question, to grow. The result? A society where beauty and brains are not opposites. They coexist in perfect balance. Swedish women are among the most well-educated in Europe. Many speak not one or two, but 3 or more languages. They're globally minded, often well-traveled, and deeply aware of both local and world affairs. It's common to find someone discussing literature, design, or climate change over a casual coffee. This cultural emphasis on refinement gives their presence a unique power. There's elegance not just in how they look, but in how they think and speak. Intelligence is attractive, and here it's standard. Combined with the country's calm lifestyle, this intellectual foundation adds to a national identity that prizes substance over spectacle. And nowhere is that more evident than in how Sweden expresses beauty through fashion. Style with simplicity. In Sweden, style doesn't shout. It whispers sophistication. You won't see excessive trends or flashy designer logos. Instead, you'll find minimalism, soft tones, and perfect tailoring. Swedish women dress with intention, favoring clean lines, muted palettes, and quality materials that stand the test of time. This sense of fashion is part of a deeper cultural rhythm, one that values quality over quantity, function over fuss. Hair is often worn in natural waves or classic updos, rarely overstyled. Makeup is subtle, used not to mask, but to enhance what's already there. The result is a look that feels timeless, practical, poised, and deeply alluring. Even everyday wear carries a sense of confidence. Whether it's a woman in a wool coat boarding a tram or someone cycling to work in crisp, neutral layers, there's a common thread: ease. It's a kind of chic that doesn't demand attention, and that's precisely what makes it unforgettable. But fashion is just one facet of Sweden's polished charm. To see the full picture, you have to walk the streets of its cities. Sweden's cities, elegance in motion. Sweden's cities are works of art in motion. Walk through Stockholm, Gothenburg, or Malmo, and you'll feel a blend of history and progress. Medieval towers rise beside cutting-edge eco-buildings. Cobblestone alleys lead into design-forward cafes and tech hubs. It's elegance in urban form. Cleanliness isn't just a feature, it's a cultural value. Public spaces are immaculate. Parks are plentiful. Even the buses and metro stations feel curated. There's a reason tourists call Sweden's cities livable museums. The people mirror the environment, fashion-forward but relaxed, purposeful yet unhurried. Public bikes and quiet. Electric vehicles hum along well-marked streets. Outdoor seating is everywhere. Even in colder months, thanks to heaters and blankets. You don't just move through Swedish cities, you glide. And within that flow, you start to feel it, the balance of function, beauty, and calm that defines Swedish life. But behind those clean streets and polished windows lies another reason for Sweden's glow. A culture that takes wellness seriously. Wellness is a way of life. In Sweden, wellness isn't a trend, it's tradition. The Swedes don't see health as a chore, but as a right, a rhythm, and a daily responsibility. Movement is natural here. Whether it's hiking through national parks, biking to work, or skiing across snowy trails. Nature is part of life, not an escape from it. The country's public health system is among the best in the world, and it shows in the people. Walk through a Swedish town and you'll notice it. Bright eyes, glowing skin, energetic movement, and a kind of quiet vitality. But wellness in Sweden is more than physical. Mental health is taken seriously, with national initiatives promoting balance, rest, and mindfulness. Therapy isn't taboo. Neither is solitude. The result? A population that ages gracefully, looks refreshed, and lives with remarkable longevity. When people feel good, they look good. And in Sweden, this glow doesn't come from glamour. It comes from a life well lived. And just like their approach to wellness, Swedish relationships are subtle, but strong. Swedish dating culture, reserved, but real. In a country as calm and composed as Sweden, it's no surprise that dating follows suit. Don't expect loud flirtation or dramatic romance. Here, affection is subtle, sincerity is prized, and space is respected. To outsiders, Swedish dating culture might seem distant or even cold, but it's not apathy, it's intentionality. Swedish women aren't interested in superficial charm or rushed courtship. They value authenticity, deep conversations, and mutual respect. It's a culture that waits to open up, but when it does, it's real. Technology has found its place in the dating scene too. Apps like Tinder are widely used, especially in bigger cities like Stockholm and Gothenburg. But even in the digital age, many Swedes still find connection through shared interests, from salsa nights to hiking groups and language cafes. Relationships here are built like everything else in Sweden, with patience, honesty, and balance. And that balance carries over to another defining quality: gender equality. Feminine strength and gender equality. In Sweden, strength doesn't mean power over others. It means power within. And nowhere is that more evident than in the lives of Swedish women. Whether they're leading boardrooms, building startups, or navigating politics, they do it with quiet confidence and unapologetic femininity. Sweden ranks consistently among the world's top nations for gender equality. From paid parental leave to female representation in government, equality isn't just policy, it's culture. Girls grow up knowing their potential is limitless, and women walk through every part of society with assurance. But this strength isn't loud or aggressive, it's calm, assured, and rooted in self-worth. A Swedish woman can close a deal in the morning and hike with her kids in the afternoon. Both roles honored equally. This harmony of strength and softness reflects a deeper Swedish truth. You don't have to shout to be powerful. You just have to show up, live fully, and stay grounded. And in Sweden, nothing grounds people more than the earth itself. Nature, oxygen, and beauty from the earth. Sweden is a country that breathes not just in metaphor, but in the most literal, life-giving way. With over 69% of its territory cloaked in forest and more than 100,000 lakes glistening under open skies, the air here isn't just clean, it's almost sacred. Step outside and your lungs immediately know the difference. The oxygen is crisp, light, and untouched by the noise of industrial excess. You don't just see nature here, you live in rhythm with it. Even in cities like Stockholm and Malmö, greenery isn't confined to parks. It's part of the architecture. Trees rise between apartment blocks. Wildflowers bloom in sidewalk cracks. Balconies spill with herbs, ferns, and potted fruits. It's not decorative, it's deliberate. Living close to nature is part of the Swedish identity. Wellness here starts with the land. Pine, birch, and lavender are not just scenery. They're used in everything from traditional remedies to modern skincare. Blueberries, lingonberries, and wild herbs are gathered for teas that soothe, energize, and nourish from the inside out. Forest bathing, the simple act of walking among trees, is not a wellness trend. Here, it's just what people do. Families spend weekends foraging mushrooms, fishing in quiet streams, or hiking sun-dappled trails. Silence isn't awkward in these moments. It's healing. Children grow up with muddy boots and windburned cheeks. They learn early to watch the seasons change and to respect the living world around them. This connection to nature doesn't just shape health, it shapes character. It fosters patience, resilience, and a kind of peace that shows up in the people's calm demeanor and quiet confidence. There's a glow in their skin, yes, but also in their spirit. In Sweden, nature is not a getaway, but it's a grounding force. It reminds people of their place in the world, keeps their pace slower, and their hearts steadier. And in a world where many are overwhelmed by speed and screens, this rooted way of life feels like the ultimate luxury. Because when you live in harmony with the earth, trust and safety grow, not just in nature, but in the society built upon it. Safety and trust in society. There's a certain kind of peace that's hard to describe, the kind that isn't loud or flashy, but quietly wraps itself around you. In Sweden, that peace comes in the form of safety. Not just the absence of danger, but the presence of trust in your surroundings, in institutions, and in other people. This is one of the safest countries in the world, particularly for women. It's common to see someone walking home alone at midnight, headphones in, coat wrapped tight, completely unbothered. Children bike to school through parks and side streets with no adult in sight. There's no panic, just calm. It's not only about crime rates, which are impressively low, it's about the invisible social contract that most people respect. There's an unspoken agreement to give others space, to mind your business, to take care of shared environments. Public transport is efficient and reliable. Police are seen as helpers, not threats. Government systems, while not perfect, are built on transparency. Corruption exists, but it's rare and it's not tolerated. This culture of trust begins early. Swedish parenting isn't built on fear and overprotection. Children are taught independence from a young age. They're encouraged to walk, explore, take small risks. A generation of emotionally grounded, socially conscious individuals who carry themselves with quiet confidence. And safety here extends beyond the physical. Emotional safety, the ability to speak without judgment, to exist without constant social pressure, is deeply woven into daily life. Mental health is taken seriously. Privacy is respected. Shame-based thinking is replaced by empathy and support. In a world that often feels tense and unpredictable, Sweden offers something rare: ease, not complacency, but comfort. People trust each other. People trust the system. And when that's the foundation, everything else, from family life to public health to even how people age, thrives. But Sweden, like its forests, is not frozen in time. The calm is evolving. The identity is shifting. And the next chapter is being written not just by blonde-haired Swedes, but by voices from all over the world. Immigration, diversity, and integration. In recent decades, Sweden has opened its doors to the world. welcoming immigrants from Syria, Iran, Iraq, Ukraine, Somalia, and beyond. The result? A population that is becoming more colorful, more complex, and more globally connected. But integration in Sweden comes with expectations. It's not about abandoning identity, but about embracing the Swedish way: calm, clean, respectful. Many who adapt find new freedom, better healthcare, and a peaceful lifestyle they never had before. The new generation of Swedes includes people with mixed backgrounds, blending Nordic features with Middle Eastern, African, and Eastern European heritage. The definition of Swedish beauty is expanding and becoming richer. Yet, like any society in transition, it's not without its growing pains. Debates around immigration policy and cultural adaptation continue. But on the ground, in schools, workplaces, and cafes, people are learning to live and thrive together. Still, even in paradise, nothing is perfect. And beneath the surface of Sweden's polished image, some realities deserve a closer look. The reality behind the perfection. For all its elegance, order, and natural beauty, Sweden is no utopia. Beneath the pine forests and polished public systems lies a reality that's more complex than its postcard image. Yes, life here is clean, safe, and beautifully designed, but it comes at a price. Quite literally. The cost of living in Sweden is among the highest in Europe. Taxes can consume up to 60% of a high-income earner's salary. Everyday expenses, even the small ones, add up quickly. A simple fika break, that sacred Swedish ritual of coffee and a cinnamon bun, often runs upwards of $10. Dining out regularly? A luxury for many. And renting an apartment in Stockholm or Gothenburg can rival New York City prices, with intense competition and long wait lists for anything remotely affordable. For newcomers, another challenge emerges: the silence. Swedes are famously reserved. It's not coldness, it's caution, a cultural preference for personal space and emotional self-containment. Socializing doesn't happen in spontaneous bursts. It's planned, slow, and subtle. Making friends can take months, even years. The dating scene, too, can feel distant for those used to more extroverted or expressive cultures. But for those who learn the rhythm, the reward is profound. Because what Sweden offers is more than surface-level charm. It's peace, it's structure, it's a life with low noise and high trust. A society where systems work, where people respect each other's time and space, and where stress is not a constant backdrop. Sweden isn't for everyone. It doesn't dazzle in loud colors or fast-paced thrills. It invites you into something quieter, something balanced, introspective, and deeply human. And in that stillness, many discover a rare kind of beauty, the kind that doesn't just impress for a moment, but lingers in the soul long after you leave.